Hello there. Today I am making stuffed shells. But, you know, my husband is doing the keto diet, so we can't actually do stuffed shells in your traditional pasta shells. Instead, today we're using zucchini. So what you're going to need for this recipe is zucchini that has been sliced, and then you're going to cook it on a griddle or a pan until it's pliable, like I did in my video about ravioli. The first thing we're going to do is spray the skillet with Pam. Turn your burner on. Put our thinly sliced zucchini on your skillet or your griddle or whatever you're using for this. You'll flip them over again and again until you find that they are pliable. You're also going to need things to put in the filling, and you'll use whatever you would normally use to fill your stuffed shells. For me, I'm going to use softened cream cheese, some pre-cooked chicken, green onion tops, some spinach or lamb's quarter, and usually I would put mushrooms in, but we're out. Are you ready? So I'm going to toss my cream cheese into the bowl. I'm going to, oh, I forgot, I usually put garlic in. So we're going to slice our green onion tops. Now this video will have starts and stops more than usual because I am still cooking the zucchini as I do this. So I'll be filming a little of how I make the filling, then I'll be flipping the zucchini. Then I'll be working on filling, then I'll be flipping the zucchini. Now you're also going to want some kind of sauce. So you can use a traditional spaghetti sauce, or you can use a bottled Alfredo sauce, or you can use homemade Alfredo sauce, which is what I'm going to do in this video. So I'm going to be doing this a little more quickly than usual because my plans for today changed a little. I was going to have my neighbor kids come and do some work to help me around the homestead later tonight, but we needed to do it this morning. So I'm running behind on everything. So I'm just chopping these up nice and small. Now I've got the zucchini started, and we're just going to dice it finely as well. Honestly, we're just going to dice them all together. They're all going in here together anyway, right? And I got a bigger bowl, as you can see, because I just don't think this is all going to fit into one. Now, normally, I use a lot of garlic in my recipes. And you'll notice I only used one sad little clove in this. But that's because when I make my Alfredo sauce, it has a lot of garlic in it. Alright, now we're going to dump this in. We have another change of plans since the start of this video, and my husband is going to go to the store and get some tomato sauce for what we're going to use today, and then I'm going to make Alfredo sauce in a part 2 of this video because I'm going to try and freeze some of these shells and see how they do left over. Now that I'm thinking of it, we need to put the oven on 350. We're going to dice the chicken. How much chicken? I don't know. Probably more than that. Let's grab another chunk, dice it up, and then we'll mix it in and see how that looks. You know, I'm not really one to measure. And I like being able to be flexible. So if you have mushrooms and things like that, you may want to use less chicken. If you just have the chicken without any veggies, you're probably going to want to use more chicken. Now we're going to keep stirring until everything is mixed in nicely. And then we're going to see if that seems about right. Oh, and we should put some salt in. No one likes bland filling. You could add pepper. You could add Italian seasoning if you wanted. Your possibilities are basically unlimited. All right, now we've got something that kind of resembles chicken salad, a little thicker. So now we're ready to start rolling our shells. So now it's time to assemble our shells. First, we're going to need some kind of container that we're going to use to cook them in. Spray it with Pam or grease it the old-fashioned way. So you're going to take one of the pieces of zucchini, toss some filling in it, and you're going to roll it up. You've made your shell. Now you're going to put it in the pan with the loose end at the bottom, and you're just going to keep doing this until you have your baking pan full. Now, the next step is really easy. We're just going to try to get this open. Okay, we're going to pour some sauce on the top. Wow, this is very strange and chunky sauce. I don't think I've ever made this with a tomato sauce before. So I'm guesstimating amounts. You may want more, you may want less. Then we're going to toss some cheese on the top. I use cheddar, but you can use, whatever kind you like. Mozzarella would probably be good. I use Kojak randomly. It really is whatever your preference is. Now we're going to slide this into the oven and cook it until the cheese is nice and melted. Now, did you think the video was done? Nope. We are going to do an experiment in preparation for part 2 of this video. Part 2 being the results of what happens when you try to refrigerate or freeze this recipe. So we're going to go ahead and roll some more of our little shells. And this time we're going to put them on a tray, and we're going to put this in the refrigerator to do what they call flash freeze the shells, which means you're going to put them in the freezer. You're going to let them stay in there until the outsides are nice and frozen, and then you'll be able to put these in a bag so they don't take up a ton of space in your freezer. Well, it's not fancy, but it works. We'll leave these in here until they're frozen a bit. So I left these in the freezer to flash freeze. It's been probably an hour. I definitely left them in too long, which means some of the time they're breaking or sticking to the bottom in general. So definitely left them for more than a flash freeze, but putting them in the bags. And then I'm going to make a second batch of filling. I went and I got some mushrooms so I can make it a new way. And then I'm going to use these, wrap them up around the new filling, and those are going to go in the refrigerator so we can compare, see which way's better. Well, I forgot to take the video of what this looked like when it was done until after I had gotten some out. Definitely would not use this brand of spaghetti sauce again because there's a lot of watery parts in there and I find that weird, but otherwise good. So now we've got zucchini wrapped around the filling, ready to go in the fridge. And we've got our bag of frozen zucchini shells in the freezer. Hello there. So today is the day where we're trying out the frozen and refrigerated stuffed shells. Now, we're gonna make our Alfredo sauce, and for that, you're going to need some diced garlic. This was like 2 huge cloves. A stick of butter, or 2, I don't know. A softened cream cheese, or 2, I don't know. A container of heavy whipping cream, and a shit ton of parm. Metric, because Europeans really know their shit. Alright, now let's get started cooking. So first of all, we're going to melt our stick of butter. Now, when the butter is melted, or when you lose patience, add the garlic. Stir the garlic and keep cooking it until it smells yummy. Now we're going to add some heavy cream that we have already shaken. But this is clearly not going to be enough, so we'll go get some more and a package of cream cheese. Now I've added the cream cheese in. So we added the heavy cream, and now we're going to put this on a medium-low heat, and we're going to stir it occasionally until it starts to get really warm. I guess I should specify that by occasionally, I mean like don't leave this unattended. Stir, wait. Especially at the beginning, it's kind of hard because you're waiting on the cream cheese to soften a bit more. And while we're waiting, we're going to turn on the oven to 350. Actually, I lied. I'm going to put it on 300 today. If you get it too hot, your Alfredo sauce will separate, and you do not want that. Oh, that's gross. So I think 300 is a smart idea. I've done this before. I've just put it at different temperatures. I put it at 350. I put it at 325. I put it at 300. But today, I'd rather do it at a lower temperature and just be safe. As you notice that the sauce is starting to have steam all around it, you are going to start stirring much more frequently. And as soon as it starts to boil, you're going to add the parm. And it is starting to bubble here and there, but I'd like it to bubble a little more. Oh, now that looks a lot better. Now, this is going to be a bit of an odd camera angle, but now we're going to add the Alfredo. So I'm not even adding it gently from the end with the little holes. We're just putting it in and stirring. Putting some in, stirring, making sure you hit the big clumps. Nobody likes clumpy Alfredo, right? Like I said, metric shit ton of parm. I heard that in real authentic Italian food, they just mix the Parmesan and the butter, and that's all. And of course, like, they use real Parmesan, but I don't have real Parmesan today. I have this, so this is what we're having. It's starting to thicken up, you can tell. So we're going to do a bit more. Gonna let it get nice and hot again now that it's got all of the Alfredo, all of the parm in it. And you don't want to leave this without stirring it for any time at all, really. An occasional pause to rest is about all you can get away with. And now we're done. We're gonna turn off the heat. As it cools, it will solidify a little bit, but it's nice and it's thick. It's gonna be delicious. So looking at these, you can see a pretty huge difference. The ones that were in the freezer, the texture is really thin and kind of creepy. The ones that were just in the refrigerator, they're still firm, not too firm. They're pliable, but you know, they're a good texture. So now we're going to just pour the Alfredo sauce on top. Look at those in their yummy, yummy sauce. I will be honest, a little bit of it got on the handle and I put it on my hand and I licked it. It's so good. Alfredo is the best. Now we're just going to put some cheese on the top. Ooh, look at that. Now we're just gonna pop it in the oven until the cheese is nice and melted and it's smelling delicious. Ooh, look at that. It's gonna be delicious. I'll let you know how it goes. Last night we enjoyed an amazing dinner of stuffed shells, but I will tell you, you could absolutely tell which was which of the two zucchinis, and I will never freeze them again. The texture was just off, and it just didn't do well at all. My husband said he could taste the difference in the cream cheese, not so much in the taste, I guess, but in the texture. He could really tell a difference, and I could tell a huge difference in the zucchini. So refrigerating the zucchini that's been rolled up, if you don't have time to cook it all the first night, is definitely the way to go. Highly recommend it. So what about you? What are the ways that you most love to cook your zucchini? I am actively looking for other recipes to make use of the zucchini that's growing in my garden. All right, happy zucchiniing, everyone. Eat something wild. Zucchinis are a little wild, right? See you later.